In this sixth installment of the history of manga, we take a look at a manga artist who has had a tremendous impact on the world of manga. His name is Katsuhiro Otomo. His most famous work is Akira. This work was made into an anime film in 1988, which was a hit not only in Japan but also in the rest of the world, and is known as the work that pioneered the Japanese anime movement outside Japan, which continues to this day. I do not know how well Akira is known around the world today, but the manga revolution that he started has transformed the way manga is expressed in Japan to such an extent that it has been called before Otomo, after Otomo. Let us now describe Katsuhiro Otomo's trajectory and his manga method. Katsuhiro Otomo was born in 1954 in the countryside of Tohoku. Otomo loved to draw, and when he was in junior high school, he read an introduction to manga by Shotaro Ishinomori, which inspired him to become a manga artist. Otomo made his debut as a manga artist in 1973. His early works were strongly influenced by the American New Cinema and often depicted the daily life of young people in the 1970s. Although his manga are very precisely drawn, he does not use a lot of black, as in Gekiga, but rather bold margins to create a whitish style. Around 1978, Otomo began to gravitate toward science fiction stories. He also began to think that if he was going to draw pictures properly, he had to make a good story as well, and he began to put more effort into creating stories. In 1979, his first book, a collection of self-selected works entitled Short Piece, was published, which made his name known to the general public. In 1982, he began serializing Akira in Weekly Young magazine. This work quickly made him a major artist. Akira is a science fiction manga set in post-World War III Japan, depicting the mayhem and subsequent collapse of the world caused by the military, rebels, and juvenile delinquents over a supernatural being. It won high acclaim as a science fiction work that depicted the decadence and collapse of the near future, using pictures to express supernatural powers that could not be visualized. In 1988, Otomo directed an animated film of the same work, which was also a huge hit. With these works, Otomo is recognized as a manga artist who transformed the method of manga expression created by Osamu Tezuka. Osamu Tezuka developed a manga technique of using symbolic pictures to express a story through a series of meaningful panels. It was a cinematic method of expression. Otomo, on the other hand, realistically depicted the situation as a single landscape, and developed a method of composing his works with a series of freely changing camera work. In Otomo's works, there are often a series of panels in which only the scenery is depicted in large scale, without any characters. The method of letting the scenery alone speak for itself, rather than using the scenery as an explanatory background for the story, was a new technique that had never been used in manga before. What is even more surprising is that Akira, Otomo's manga so meticulously drawn, was serialized on a weekly basis. Otomo also brought the previously flat worlds of manga and anime into realistic three-dimensional reality through characters with flesh and blood skeletons and backgrounds with depth, such as skyscrapers drawn with an understanding of their structure. He avoided drawing things according to templates or cartoonish expressions. He depicted things and people in a realistic manner, and he did not beautify the characters at all, depicting them as they appeared, with Asian looks, narrow eyes, low nose, short legs, and small breasts. Otomo's method had such a great impact on the manga artists of this period that it completely changed the way they expressed themselves. This is the reason why Japanese manga is said to be categorized as before Otomo and after Otomo. Otomo's influence has opened up a new way of expression in manga today. After Akira, Otomo shifted the focus of his work to film and video rather than manga. However, the achievements of Otomo that Akira left behind are in no way inferior to those of Osamu Tezuka and Akira Toriyama.